Greetings everyone. So today I want to talk about how you have your home theater setup. Now I've had some questions on one of my videos where people have a receiver and a soundbar set up and they're trying to get everything to work at once. Now I'm going to tell you what you really need to do right after this. Okay, so first off, I understand you had a receiver before because that's how mine was set up initially. I had the receiver, I had the two left and right speakers, I had some surround sound speakers, and I had a center channel. I didn't have a subwoofer in my setup because the subwoofer wasn't needed. My two big speakers put out enough bass where I didn't need a subwoofer in my setup. So that worked for me perfectly. When I want to watch a movie, I just fire up the receiver, it shoot out all the sounds to the individual speakers, surround sound, center channel, left and right, you name it. That receiver had Dolby Pro Logic and all that good stuff, so it was sending out the signals to each one of the speakers. Now I've had that receiver and speaker set up for years. I don't even want to talk about how long it's been. But one thing for sure, technology has gotten better and things are better than it used to be. So in order to take advantage of the latest and greatest stuff, I was looking to upgrade my receiver. Plus my receiver doesn't have any HDMI port. So that right there tells you how old my receiver is. But somewhere along the line doing my own personal research, I was looking at the soundbar setups. I definitely wanted a soundbar setup that had the soundbar and the subwoofer, even if it's wireless. So I was looking at a soundbar and subwoofer setup just to weigh my options. In the end, I decided to go with a soundbar and subwoofer setup. And I also got some rear speakers that's attached to the soundbar wirelessly. Now after getting the soundbar set, now I have to figure out what I'm going to do as far as having the receiver and the speakers set up and the soundbar system. Now in the beginning, I tried to have everything connected together. I tried to put the receiver and the soundbar system all in one so I can have all the sound going on. But that wasn't working out to where I would want it to work. So I had to make a decision. And one of the main reasons is the receiver doesn't have an HDMI port. So I would have to split the audio between the TV going to the soundbar and the sound going also to the receiver. And I started looking at different devices to make it possible, but it was just getting too complicated. So in the end, I decided to just hook up the soundbar with the subwoofer and the rear speaker system to the TV itself using the HDMI ARC port. And that's how it is right now. That's how I watch my movies. So when I turn on the TV, the soundbar comes on automatically, feed all the speakers, and I don't have to worry about having 2 or 3 different remotes to control everything. Now the receiver and the speakers that goes along with it is still in the setup. I just don't use it to watch TV. Right now, the only way I use the receiver is when I want to listen to music through my Amazon device. So I have an Echo Show 5 that's hooked up to the receiver via the line-in cable, and that's how I listen to music in my living room when I want to just listen to music without the TV being on. So basically the advice that I can give you, if you already have a receiver and speaker setup, what you want to choose is between going to the soundbar setup or just sticking with the receiver setup. Because you can buy a newer receiver that has the latest and greatest technology built in to take advantage of the HDMI ARC port, which will feed all those speakers that you already have in your setup. If you decide you want to switch over to the soundbar setup, then make sure you get a soundbar setup that has the latest and greatest stuff built in. So try to spend enough money on that setup to where you have a soundbar, a subwoofer, and some rear speakers to go along with it. Because if you go that route, basically what you're trying to do is replace the setup that you have now. But please don't go down the road of trying to integrate a soundbar system setup along with a receiver and speaker setup. Your best bet is to just switch to one and stick with it. And if you want to stay with the receiver setup, you can upgrade your receiver. If you want to get some newer speakers that have better output, like your center speakers and your 2 front speakers, and get a subwoofer and some rear speakers, that's fine. But stick with one and try not to get both systems and try to blend them together because it's not going to work out well. Okay, so I hope this information was helpful because I have questions on my channel about people trying to do the exact same thing that I tried to do when I first switched over from a receiver setup to a soundbar setup. And I was trying to integrate all that stuff together to make it all play at the same time. So speaking from experience, like I said, switch over to one and stick with it, or just upgrade your receiver to handle the newest, latest, and greatest stuff. Okay, so if this information was helpful to you, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave it down in the comment section. Thanks for taking the time for watching. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time.